I had always prided myself on being two things: rather fearless and rather good at games. Any game I owned was guaranteed to have been completed on hard mode, no matter what the time span took to reach the end. I would charge headfirst into a fight and had successfully disarmed an attacker who would otherwise have stabbed me. I prided myself on those two things. I also pride myself on my Touhou achievements. To those who haven't played the Touhou games, they are a series of vertical shooters where you dodge bullets whilst firing your own progress through 7 increasingly difficult stages with a boss at each stage. There are nearly 20 games in total for the entire saga. I have beaten all of the Touhou games, including the PC-98 games. You name it, I had cleared it on both hard and lunatic modes. Subterranean Animism, Mystic Square, double spoiler, all that were in my Touhou folder were cleared. You can imagine my excitement when, out of the blue, my friend tells me they found the demo for the newest game, Touhou 14, even kindly enough providing a download link from Rapid Share. Legit enough, right? Aside from I hadn't seen users freaking out on Tumblr, nor an official announcement on the Touhou Wikia. None of that penetrated my thick skull as I downloaded the file, though. After an hour and a half of total download, unzip, and install time, the folder sat innocently on my desktop, Touhou 14. This was nothing new. I only named the folders for my games with the English name. And as this was a demo, there was no English name. However, by this point, the time had gone 10 p.m. and college beckoned in the morning from a 6 a.m. start. I shut down my laptop and readied myself for bed, barely drifting off into a fitful, dreamless sleep. When I awoke, there was still murky, residual darkness outside, viewable via the window opposite my bed. Flipping open the mobile phone I keep on my bedside table, the screen illuminated the time blindingly into my dark, habituated eyes. 4:44 a.m. With a groan, I rolled over back onto the pillow, but to no avail. I flipped and rolled for seemingly hours, with no success of sleeping. Giving in, I dragged myself out of bed for a shower and some tea. A ritual I had recently accustomed myself to. By 5:59 a.m., I had eaten, showered, and was in the process of blow-drying my hair before dressing when the flashing blue light of my laptop caught my attention. Strange. I'd switched it off the night before, giving my newly dried hair a shake and a drag through with a flat brush. I toggled the touchpad of the laptop, only to find I had pressed the off option when switching off last night. No big deal. It meant I could fool around for a bit until 6:30 when I had to leave for the bus to college. It meant that, surprise, surprise, I could give the new Touhou installment a whirl before form. Pulling a dress over my newly brushed hair and panties under the dress, I executed the file inside the folder. Strangely enough, named in boxes where it would usually be named something along the lines of Touhou 14 demo. However, I assumed it to be the original Japanese text that my tottering updated laptop couldn't read, and shrugged it off as it settled back down into the seat in front of the screen. Black as the executable file booted itself up. In seconds, the title screen was up, amazingly similar to the title screen of 10 Desires, but with no sound. I sighed, thinking it was an error in patching that deleted the music file. I'd had this problem with Perfect Cherry Blossom. Starting up a new game, I was pleasantly surprised to find new playable characters: Flandre, New, Komachi, and Atsuho. I was even happier to see that these playable characters were what most fans would consider fairly strong characters, especially Atsuho and Flandre. Now, New had always been a favorite of mine, so my directional pad headed straight for her option, hitting the Z button, however, yielded no result aside from a loud screech from my laptop. Stupid thing, I thought. It must have damaged the game file. I got the same result from Flandre and Atsuho, leaving me with little hope that Komachi would work. Amazingly, her option agreed with my laptop and stage 1 fired up. But again, there was no music. The normally vibrant background colors were dull-end, boringly enough. However, when playing FPS games, my laptop tended to sometimes mess with colors, so I paid little heed. There were also no bullets to dodge, no fairies appeared, no mid-boss, only small cloud-like enemies floating across the screen. The minute I launched an attack on them, though, they fled, leaving a black box behind instead of the usual red power-ups or green point boxes. Upon collecting these, a strange thing happened. After I collected 10 of these boxes, the screen faded to black, making the loudest static noise ever. Jumping halfway out of my skin at the unexpected noise, I simply held down the power switch to turn my laptop off. Catching sight of my clock on the wall, the time read 6:25. Probably time for me to go. College awaited me. When I came home that night, I started up Touhou 14 again, hoping that cool-off time would improve the game. This time, there was music for the title screen, however, it wasn't a zone-type sound. It was more several title themes all played over each other. I took it as another quirk of the damage my laptop could inflict on games. This time, however, there was no character select after the title screen. There were no controls at all. They were taken over by the computer, as though in demo mode. It controlled itself as it moved Komachi across the screen, attacking all that came in her path in a rather uncharacteristic way for Komachi. In another strange move, all enemies fled her. The background looked rather like the inside of Yukari's Gap as shown in the fighter games like Scarlet Weather Rhapsody, extending so far that the bomb, life, and power counters were hidden. The next shot came when the boss of the level showed up. A very stressed-looking Shiki appears, warning Komachi to turn back. Not too surprising since there was no aforementioned incident and Komachi has a job to do, right? Before any back and forth could occur between the characters, as is the norm, the game launched Komachi forward, causing her scythe to cleave her boss in half. I sat staring, dumbfounded at the screen as blood seeped from the halved pixels, spreading over the screen until the gap-like background was obscured by red. The game handed control back to me. I shook as I carried on to level 2, confronted by some fleeing fairies. Again, they dropped black boxes. However, this time, there was no static sound. I was transported directly to stage 2. A setting that resembled the flowing lava of subterranean animism, stage 6. This time, a visibly irritated and fearful Rin appears, warning Komachi that to go deeper is a danger even she wouldn't approach. Komachi's control was taken from me at this point. Again, she was launched into the kasha, slicing the girl's head from her shoulders. My trembling increased as a split frame appeared on my screen long enough to print screen it. Upon minimizing of the game and pasting of the screenshot into MS Paint, the frame appeared to be that of what looked like a young cosplayer. About 14 years old, just as Flander. Her cosplay was cut open shoddily down the front, exposing her. Okay, yeah, I'm not continuing reading this anymore. This is awful. Like, yeah, I'm not playing this. I'm not reading this anymore. This is literally just one of those creepypastas that's literally just created for, like, shock value with all the blood, gore, stuff like that. That is cliched in on its own. Not to mention the fact that a photo of a 14-year-old cosplayer with her clothes literally cut open and her body completely exposed. Again, 14 years old apparently. Like, that's not exactly something I would want to continue reading on about. And yeah, I'm not going to continue reading on about it. Like, that's just bad. So yeah, sorry to say, but I'm not continuing this creepypasta. Like, it's just one of those that's just really just offensive and just disturbing for all the wrong reasons. Like, it's just, I just can't read it anymore. It's that bad. But yeah, again, I'm reading a few sentences as I'm saying all this, and it gets worse. It's I can't do it. But yeah, I'm sorry, but this creepypasta is just r- awful. For like, obviously I've read some awful creepypastas before, but none like this. Like, this was like I can't continue this anymore. I just couldn't. And yeah, unfortunately, as a like, I really haven't had the any interest in reading any creepypastas lately, so that's why I haven't been doing it. I just haven't had any interest. I guess that mood just kind of vanished. So, yeah. Sorry to say, but I don't think I'm going to be reading any more creepypastas anytime soon. And this one was honestly is honestly a good one to stop with, because again, it's a bad creepypasta. It's like, it's just awful for all the wrong reasons. So, yeah, sorry to say, but I don't think I'm going to be reading any more creepypastas anytime soon. But yeah, that's honestly all I for this creepypasta. And if you want to see the unaltered footage for gameplay in the background, I'll be uploading it tomorrow. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. See ya.